Hey everybody, it's Joe Parvey with House of Stereo, and I'm standing here in the front of house. I wanted to give you sort of a shop tour update. We're on the opposite side of Expona 2026. I'm back from there. We have a lot of really cool stuff coming that we picked up and dealt with there in Expona. But I wanted to give you a status of where we are right now for people who are interested. So here in the front of house, this is what you see when you walk in the front door. And of course, our Diva Mezzas are here. One of the most beautiful active speakers I've ever seen, one of the most powerful active speakers we've ever had. And then some of the more traditional gear. Recent update, SPL. We have brought SPL back. It's being distributed by 2WA, good friends of ours. And so I've always really enjoyed the SPL gear. It's a big hit amongst the guys doing music and video production, but it's also great for playback, so we love it. Then a very hotly anticipated device. This is Focal and Focal and Name working together. This is the new Muso Hekla. So while the name Muso and Muso2 or Muso QB were all under the name moniker, this product, and so are the Divas, really represent Focal being the headline brand for it. Now, tons of name technology inside, 15 speakers, 600 watts, upward firing speakers, side firing speakers, and of course front firing speakers. It's not a soundbar. This is a device that kind of redefines that genre. The Cambridge Audio Evo 1 is a fantastic piece at about half the price of the Focal Hekla, but this is going to be what TV and 2026 are doing together. This thing is absolutely amazing. So Dolby Atmos, all of that. It's so new that I haven't even hidden the HDMI cable that we're playing with this. Everything is pretty much self-contained in the TV until now. So we're going to be running and hiding that cord. What else do we have up front here? Of course, some of our fun pieces, a Reggaplane R8, some Raidho speakers. Actually, we have two pair of Raidho here in the front of house. They sound awesome. They're customer trade-ins. So if you were looking for a pair of Raidhos, now would be a good time to stop in the shop. Now, next we're going to head over to Sound Room 1. I want to show you some of the things that we have going on in there and tell you about some of the things coming. And then if we have time, we'll do the Sound Room 2 and maybe the high-end room and the living room. Okay, so on the way to Sound Room 1, I wanted to stop. This is kind of, this little rack here, this is kind of the waiting room. A lot of these pieces, they're here because so we can quickly deploy them to a room. This is the Arcam SA45. Now, this thing is beautiful. It has a great looking screen. This is Arcam getting serious about 2-channel audio. 180 watts per channel. Full all-in-one. It's truly a Just Add Speakers device. Moving magnet, moving coil phonostage, onboard streaming DAC, all of that. Balanced inputs, balanced outputs, and 180 watts per channel, wrapped up in a package that looks pretty darn good. So Class G amplification, that's a hallmark of Arcam's amplifier design. It's what makes Arcam so special to me. Arcam's multi-channel products are what I use in my living room at home. It's what drives our living room here at the shop. So this is a really cool device. You should come down and listen to it. Also in here are some of my beloved Avic gear. This is last gen gear, but it's still, heavy hitter in terms of the shop. Some advanced Paris, some synergistic research, and a Parasound reference preamp down here. So really cool little rack just sitting off by itself. Anyways, come on with me to Sound Room 1. All right, so here we are, Sound Room 1. This is the far left of the shop, and this is a 15 by 19 by 10 foot ceilinged room. So this room sees a lot of use, and what I've done is, of course, I like putting the gear on the sidewall while having the speakers up front. I'll show you that in a second. But a couple of things to talk about here. For one, did you ever think that a white rack could be so pretty? This was a cool discovery that we made some years ago. You know, I never, oh, hey, we have a white rack. Would you want to look at that? Oh, no, I couldn't imagine it. But then I took one and we put gear on it, and it shows off the gear. Suddenly, everything here is on display, and it's all thanks to that rack. So if you're thinking about room design, remember this. Now, we have added an extra shelf because we have so much gear here. We're running a couple of systems at once in this room, and we'll pan around in a minute so that you can see things like the Pylon audio speakers, the Jade series, the Jasper series is in here. But really what this room is a mid to high-end selection of gear. Say, you know, 5,000 up to 25,000 gear can be found in here. House of Stereo is now a proud dealer of Thorens turntables under MoFi's distribution. Our good friend Lenny brought this Thorens for us to try out, and I absolutely love it. So this is the TD404. The lift button is great. You cue the record up, hit the lift button, it will drop. Hit it again, it'll raise. And then the most important thing that we didn't realize initially is that when that stylus hits the runout groove, once it gets to the end of the record, it'll automatically lift and the turntable will stop. If you get liquored up at night and pass out in front of your turntable, this is a great feature. But it's also a good feature if I'm here in the shop, I'm playing and something happens, or I'm home and a child starts yelling and I have to go take care of things. I don't leave the record just spinning. I don't, you know, so that's a big deal. LAB12. This is another MoFi distribution product. Lenny was kind enough to bring it to us. I believe it's at about the $5,000 price point, and I'm really liking it. I think it's a great phono stage. So we're putting it through its paces. And then I would be 100% remiss if I did not mention, this is the ATA cartridge. This is a new company. This is the debut of the ATA line of cartridges. I'm going to talk more about it in a future video. But for now, this is I think the $2,500 price point cartridge, and I'm loving it. Jasmine and I sat here yesterday after hours and just phenomenal cartridge. Also in this rack, Audio Research, the new i70. This is the second generation of their integrated line. So Valerio Cora, once he took over Audio Research, he put their production and their R&D into high gear. And this is a 70 watt per channel integrated amp, DAC, phono on board. Basically, this is a system that you can just add speakers. Just add speakers and a streamer and a turntable, but this is a very complete system, very powerful, loving it. Accustic Arts. This is the pre-one by Accustic Arts. This is where Accustic Arts gets going in their separates. There's also the preamp 5. I mean, you can go all the way up the chain, but this is where they get started. Now, this is a great preamp because it has a phono stage on board. It also has a DAC on board. So the matching amplifier, the amp 1, is down here, and I'm running all of that to the speakers over here. Another company that we really like, and we haven't really talked a lot about yet, we're getting ready to start gearing up for the marketing, Esoteric. So as far as Japanese brands go, I have two big favorites that loom large in my life, and that's Esoteric and Phasmation. So this is the Esoteric N-05 XD. Now, I'm about to replace this with the N-05 XE. It is on the way. So we will have a nice preamp deal in the offering here pretty soon. This has a DAC and streamer built in. You might be kind of seeing a theme here. We're seeing preamps take on more of the source heavy lifting, and I like that very much. So a simpler, more streamlined setup by putting the DAC and the phono stage inside. Of course, you can always get an outboard phono stage, get an outboard DAC to eke out even more performance, but this is a great option. Down below the Aurender, this is the N200 running the digital section of both of these DAC preamps. And we're big fans of Aurender. In addition, we have the Wolf Audio servers running, driving audio throughout the building and even driving audio to the Aurenders, or if you want to use the Conductor app, that's easy as well. Cambridge Audio, this is their Edge integrated. I don't think enough people know about it. This is a really cool integrated. It's a lot better than people might think. If you're in the market for an analog, well, actually, no, this isn't an analog integrated. It does have a DAC in it. This really is a neat piece. And then finally at the bottom, the DS Audio, that's the 003 equalizer. So optical cartridges are a big deal to us here. Though we use traditional cartridges and optical cartridges equally, this Thorens head shell, we have another one that has our 003 cartridge on it, so I can hot swap them quickly. And this table has unbalanced and balanced outputs. So the RCAs run down to the DS Audio, the XLRs run to the LAB12, and this is a great kind of easily switchable system here. All right, so that's, that's the rack. Let's talk about the big iron here. All right, so many of you who know me will have, of course, heard the Stenheim Illumine 5 SEs. This is one of my favorite speakers. This is actually my personal pair of speakers. While I have a 3-year-old at home, they're gonna stay here until she's not so pokey with pencils and things like that. So they're being kept safe here. On the floor, this is the Amp I by Accustic Arts, 220 watts per channel. We actually debuted the Pre-1 and the Amp I at the Florida Audio Expo 2026 back in February. They're here doing the rounds at the shop. And another, and for those of you who aren't familiar with Accustic Arts, it is very pristine, very precise, very articulate, high resolution, and it has a warmth and a naturalness to it that we really like. So it has tube-like qualities, and Accustic Arts is a company that does use tubes. Some of their DACs, their preamps, the CD player, there are tube variants of those devices, so they know what these systems, should sound like they're chasing that warmth. And so even with their solid state gear, you get a very analog, very tube-like sound. Then behind the Pre-1 are my S-05s. Now again, these are about to get an update. I have some photos that maybe I'll put into the video from Expona 2026. The new version of these are here in America. They're coming to the shop. It's got a beautiful design on the top of it. We'll throw a picture up. But this is a 50 watt per channel stereo amplifier, pure Class A. What we did was we monoblocked them, because when you monoblock them, you get 130 watts per channel of pure Class A operation. So they're nice. They're not too toasty, but they're warm. This is Class A operation to the tune of about 130 watts. It drives the Stenheims great. It drives my T+A Talus great. Really, this is a good room. This is one of my favorite rooms. So what else do we have in here? Isotek. This is the V5 Aquarius power conditioner back there, and that's sitting on, I think that's a Billy Bags rack from the 90s that we found in the back of the shop. And so we pull them out when we need them. Yeah, so sound room 1. Let's go to the sound room 2. And sound room 2 is kind of our getting started hi-fi room. This is a smaller room, and it's made for smaller speakers, smaller equipment, but I'll show you when we get there. All right, so sound room 2. You guys probably haven't seen this in a couple of years, so we have some changes. This is a 13 by 15 room. This is if you have an extra bedroom at your house, or your kids go to college and you get a room back and you want to turn it into a stereo room, this is that room. first thing I want to show off is quad. Now, when I was born, my father had the 1976 version of this preamp and this amp. So 50 years later, quad is back with a new 33 and 303. They have a CD player to go with it. This is a later entrant, fairly new. And these little mono blocks, it's 50 watts per channel in stereo mode, but 150 mono blocked. So that's what we've done, and we've put it on this Guild 9's rack. Now, these are very cool. These are configurable racks. If you are interested in something like this for a desktop solution, give us a call. But yeah, so quad, and then of course on the digital, we're driving with the Cambridge EXN down below there. Our Aurender ACS is down there, a name piece, and then of course the Cambridge EXA integrated. So if you're looking for a really cool integrated under 2,500 bucks, this is the guy. Another thing that we've been so busy we haven't really had time to do properly is we are once again monitor audio dealers. So when I took over the shop years ago, there were a couple of pieces of monitor, and I wasn't fully aware of who they were. Over time, I had chances to listen to monitor audio speakers, and I said, oh my gosh, I really missed the boat on this. So these are the Silver 300 floor standers, and these are a phenomenal pair of speakers. For the people more budget-minded or getting started, their Bronze series, definitely something you should check out. And then, of course, their Gold and their Platinum, also phenomenal. Their $20,000, their largest floor stander, that's actually what Jasmine has at home. She absolutely loves them. I had a chance to hear them, and it's phenomenal in her room. But anyways, so of course, Pro-Ject and Raidho turntables will be found in here. This is a Debut Evo 2. Cambridge, more quad, the quad integrated, a Parasound preamp. These are all the things that you'll find in this room. And this is for, you know, if someone walks in and says, hey, I've heard about HiFi, what's all this about? I'm going to bring them in here. You know, this is where we kind of get started with everything. But even if you're a seasoned audiophile and you want to have a little system, I think these are very strong contenders. So we're still up here in the front room of the shop, and I wanted to point out a really cool system that I like a lot. This is the Triangle Signature Alpha speakers, and while Triangle is really well known right now for their beautiful veneers, the golden oak, the zebrano, all of the veneers on their signature, their Cometes and 40th anniversary, I elected to do the piano black because I think this is such a sophisticated looking speaker that I've always just loved it. I paired it with some French furniture here, and of course driving it is a German integrated amplifier. This is the Accustic Arts Power 3, 220 watts per channel, more than enough to drive these triangles, but I really like the aesthetics of the two together. And then for sources, what I've done, Pro-Ject X2. This is the X2 table with the Quintet Red cartridge running balanced out to the tube box S3B. And then of course, HiFi Rose's RS451 is handling digital, and we're sending that on to the internal DAC of the Accustic Arts. And this system sounds amazing, and it's just kind of nestled here in the front of house. But I wanted to point it out. So the headphone area is over to the right. We're not going to cover that today because it's a little messy. But anyways, let's go have a look at the living room. Now we're in the front of house. This is when you walk in the shop and take a left, TV over here. Some of our in-ceiling and in-wall speakers are all here. This area was actually never designed to have electronics, but as time went on and we had more and more product, we ended up having to use it. And so I've turned it into something that I really like, and I'm kind of proud to show off right now. So up top here, VPI holds sway. This is the Model 1 from their Forever series, and of course this is the Prime 21, which might be one of their most recognizable tables. Well, with the Forever model, the Forever series, they have planned a Model 1, 2, 3, and 4, a modular system so that you can take it up over time and increase the quality, different tone arm, different platter, different motor system underneath. This is a really cool table that basically a young audiophile could grow up with. So I really like that. And then down below, we actually have two systems in one because we're driving these O-Audio Frig O2s with the Electrocompaniet system here. So this is the ECI 6 DX Mark II on the bottom, and their awesome CD player down here. So the ECI 6 DX Mark II is room ready, network capable. It can accept almost any input, but then the CD player is for those traditional guys who have tons of discs and still want it. What I love about this is that tray mechanism. This thing is solid. It's an absolute tank. Electrocompaniet has designed a spider that goes with it. So you put the disc in, put the spider down on it to stabilize, close the drawer, and you're off to the races. Awesome, awesome system from a great company. By the way, they have a new preamp. They just showed it at Expona 2026. It's a phenomenal sounding preamp. So they paired their Nemo amplifier with the Borison M1, the $100,000 bookshelves, and that was a great sounding room. On my right, what we have, and here, let me move around for you. All right, so what we have here, this is the Power 2. This is an Accustic Arts integrated, and this is a new color for them. So Accustic Arts has traditionally been all about silver and chrome. They're now starting to get into black and gold, or you could choose black and chrome. You could choose silver and gold, chromed gold. So I think that this looks absolutely great. I've got the Gold Note phono stage here that's handling the Model 1. I've got an Aurender A1000 here. The Power 2 is an analog integrated amp by Accustic Arts. So it's 180 watts per channel, just a really phenomenal sounding integrated, nice and simple. So if you already have your own preferred sources and need 180 watts of very good warm sounding power, this is the one. Now this system sits on this rack, and I love the aesthetics of this rack. I love the aesthetics of the gear on the rack. This is made by Pylon. This is the Pylon Obsidian rack, and as some of you may know, we met the guys from Pylon. We got to know them. We saw the direction that they were headed, and I said, yeah, let's help bring you to America. So we're one of the founding dealers for Pylon audio in North America, and these racks are beautiful, but really they're best known for their speakers, and I'm going to show you a pair in just a second. But I wanted to point out, so this is two racks slid together, and I love that sort of that mid-century modern style. This wood is very reminiscent of a house that I grew up in as a kid. We had a lot of furniture, and the whole house looked a lot like this. So it really is nostalgic for me. But I love the S-bend of the frame because it gives me full mobility on this second shelf. And of course on the top shelf, I can reach in and do whatever without having to bend around poles and other things. So this is a great system for the front of house. And by the way, I should mention the Accustic Arts is driving the biggest of O-Audio speakers. These are the Verdandes. If you saw us at the Florida Audio Expo 2026 this year, you'll have heard or seen the Verdandes. We played it with the Amp 1 and Preamp 1 from Accustic Arts, and we just had phenomenal sound in that room. Here, and not that we necessarily needed it, but in my opinion, it's always nice to have a sub filling in just those very bottom notes. But we have paired the Verdandes with the REL S850 sub. We got the wood grills on it. Absolutely gorgeous. I think that this is a a system that you definitely want to hear. Then of course for O audio filling out the rest, off camera I've got the Icon 12s over there. That's the $25,000 O audios. They're probably the best known of them. But the Ferdinand and the Frig 2s are no slouches. At Expona 2026, Jonathan was there and launched the Amir. The Amir is their new flagship. It's shaped a lot more like a large Icon 12. It's more like the Icon 12 than the Verdande, but it is a very special speaker. You'll see this stainless steel line going around the face of it. Well, what that is actually a plate that holds those drivers. It's their driver. You're not going to find it on other speakers, but this new beautiful bass driver that they've designed themselves, and then the horn system. There's going to be more information coming on that, but I expect to hear them here soon. Now, I had mentioned Pylon audio, and I wanted to, I missed it over on the front of house, so I wanted to take a minute and show you. So Pylon, this is a Polish company who are pretty big in our industry, better known over in Europe than they are here. But once we met these guys and talked to these guys, I said, you know, we're going to bring this to America. It's time for people to hear. And so I wanted to point out the Jasper 18. This is let's call it around $7,500 pair of bookshelves, great matching stand. And they're using Seos and ScanSpeak drivers. They're using drivers that normally you don't see on a sub $10,000 speaker. You'll usually find these drivers on much more expensive speakers, which is what piqued my interest immediately. So we're going to be making some videos here soon, delving into their Diamond series, their Jade series, Jasper, and then I forget, we lovingly call it the banana speaker, but they have this really cool speaker design that we're going to be bringing to America and showing off. It's one of their high-end models. But if you are looking for reference level performance in sub $10,000 and $20,000 price points, I think you need to take a very serious look at Pylon. And if you're just one of those guys or girls who doesn't want what the guy down the street has, you want something a little more original, Pylon is going to be one of those speaker lines that in 5 years you'll remember that you saw it here first. Anyways, so there's more here to the shop, but it's a bit too messy for us to go into the high-end room and into the focal room. We're changing some of the room treatment. We're doing some different things. So I'm going to save those two rooms for a later video that will link to this one. But anyways, that's our shop tour. I've got to give you the obligatory. If you enjoyed watching this video, if you want to see more content from me and from Jasmine and from the rest of us here at House of Stereo, please give us a like. Please give us a subscribe. Those numbers do mean something, it turns out. And so if I don't say this right now, my brother's going to kill me. So please like and subscribe, and we'll keep on making content and things for you to show you what we're doing. Thanks, everyone.